A population starts with 1,300 members and increases with a relative growth rate of 17.2, so 17.2% per year. Write a formula that gives the population after T years. How large is the population after 7.5 years? So we have two pieces of information here we're trying to solve for. The population starts with 1,300 members. So it starts with 1,300 members. So that means that is our original. So now we need to try to figure out what we can do with all of this information. So for this one, we're going to start with our population formula that looks like population at a time t is equal to C E raised to the KT. So what does all of this mean? Well, a couple different things. So this formula is very similar to the PE to the RT formula that we looked at for interest, and it has a lot of very similar properties. So when we look at this, we have C and K are constants. This means that they're not the variable. The variable in this case is T. C and K are constants. There are constants of proportionality. So when we try to solve this down, C is our initial. Remember when we were looking at the PE to the RT and we said P was the principal? Well, this time P is our population. So we need to understand the different parts of our formula, not just memorize the letter. So this is saying our population function at a time of T, and it's meaning in this case, C is our initial amount. K is what we call our relative growth rate. And a relative growth rate is the percentage of growth that you're experiencing. Now, remember, the percentage of growth could also be negative. It could be a percent decrease. You could be having a population decrease, which means our growth rate would then be going down, and that's okay. So let's put in what we know. Well, what do we know? We know that our C is equal to 1,300. We know that our K is our relative growth rate, so that is 17.2%, which will go to a decimal, and that will leave us with 0.172. So we can put all this in. So our population at our time T is equal to C, so 1,300, E to the K, 0.172, T. So that is our formula for our population after T years. Now then it's asking us, well, what is the population after 7.5 years? So T would be 7.5. So that'll look like P of 7.5 is equal to 1,300 E to the 0.172 times 7.5. Now we need to make sure we can type this all into the calculator. So if you type this all into the calculator, you might need to start with your exponent, E raised to this, and then times by 1,300. When you type it all in, make sure you can type it in, and you get 4,723 people.